Joy here, holistic nutritionist. So today I'm going to share with you 6 ways to beat the bloat. A couple of years ago, I did a series of YouTube videos all about how to get a flat belly and improve your digestion. So I thought I would do one video that summarizes the best ways to beat the bloat. So I don't know about you guys, but years ago by like 2-3 o'clock, I felt like I had to undo the top button of my jeans to let my belly out because I was so bloated and I had no idea that I was doing so many things wrong. So let's first review what can be going wrong. Why are you getting bloated in the first place? Well, the first common causes of being bloated are number 1, swallowing gas. And if you're kind of screwing up your eyebrows thinking, what is Joy talking about? I will tell you more about that, not to worry. Feeding the bad bacteria is another really common cause of being bloated. And then of course, eating foods day after day after day that you're sensitive to. Such a common problem with an easy solution. So I'm going to share with you 6 ways that are proven to beat the bloat. Number 1 way to beat the bloat, don't drink gas. Now, if you're chugging back carbonated beverages like pop, you're basically drinking carbon dioxide gas. You're drinking gas. So you're feeling gassy. Well, no wonder you're drinking gas. This makes you bloated. And pop, of course, is a double whammy because you have sugar, which is feeding all the bad bacteria in your gut, and then you have gas as well. Now, the same also goes for carbonated water. If you are someone who tends to be bloated, I highly recommend that you cut out your carbonated water habit. Now, of course, there is an exception to the rule. For example, kombucha is an effervescent fermented beverage that's delicious, but this actually helps to feed the good bacteria, so helps you reduce bloating. So that would be the one exception. The second reason when you eat too fast, you get bloated is because you're likely swallowing larger chunks of food. So you really want to chew your food until a paste. If you look at your bowel movement, if you look at your poop, basically, when you have a number 2, if you see food particles in there, you may not actually be chewing your food enough. And this is definitely a recipe for being bloated. The other thing is when you eat more mindfully, if you are someone who tends to overeat, you will eat less. Because when you eat mindfully and you really take in all the senses of your food, you take time to smell it and enjoy it and really chew it, you will eat less overall, and you'll have far better digestion too. Number 3 is to spit out the gum. Again, this comes back to swallowing air. If you're always chewing gum, you're actually swallowing air constantly. This is terrible for bloating. And the other thing is that when you're chewing gum, your brain is sending signals to your gut that it expects you to be swallowing food. It's expecting food to come down the pipes. But the truth is you're only chewing gum, so your gut starts to produce acids and enzymes getting ready for food, but then you don't even eat anything. So chewing gum can definitely make you bloated. So I highly recommend you spit out the gum and just ditch the gum chewing habit, period. It will really help you to beat the bloat. Number 4 way to beat the bloat is to avoid sugar. So when you eat sugar and you eat processed foods, you provide an awesome buffet for the yeast and the bad bacteria that live in your digestive system, because sugar feeds. It's like the perfect fuel for yeast and bad bacteria, and it causes gaseous byproducts which make you bloated. And so you really, really want to avoid sugar and processed foods. Not only, not just if you get bloated, but just for better health in general. So my 5th point to beat the bloat is to feed the good bacteria. As per my previous point, bad bacteria and yeast thrive on sugar. So when you cut out sugar, you starve them. But you want to make sure that you provide ample fuel for the good bacteria. So you want to make sure that you eat fiber-rich foods that act as prebiotics and also fermented foods. This is a good buffet. This is the buffet for the good bacteria. So I recommend you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. So make sure you eat these fantastically delicious fruits and vegetables. For example, like pears. Make sure you eat the skin. It's a great source of fiber. Apples, avocado. A lot of people don't realize that avocado is also a fantastic source of fiber. Squashes too. I have an acorn squash here. Great source of fiber. Feed that good bacteria. And of course, leafy greens. And there are so many great fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi. I have a whole video as well where I talk about my favorite fermented foods. Now, if you follow me on Instagram or on Snapchat, you've likely seen many of my smoothies. And my favorite protein powder that I always use is Genuine Health's Fermented Vegan Proteins Plus, because each scoop gives you 20 grams of protein, plant-based proteins that are fermented. So this is helping to feed the good bacteria and really helping you to beat the bloat. So this is the kind of protein powder that when you add it to your smoothie, you do not get bloated. So I've got tons of smoothie recipes on my blog, and I have a whole chapter in my book, Joyous Health, of lots of smoothie recipes as well to get you inspired and get you started on the path of delicious, bloat-free eating. And my final point number 6, for beating the bloat is to avoid the most common food sensitivities. So I've talked about this time and time again on my YouTube channel, in my book, on my blog, about the importance of taking a break from these trigger foods. So sugar, we've already talked about, dairy, gluten, corn, and soy. So taking a break from these 5 foods can really, really make a difference in bloating. Now, I'm not saying that all these foods are terrible, but what I am saying, for a lot of people, these foods can make you bloated if you are in fact sensitive to them. So what you do is for 2 weeks, you avoid these 5 foods and then evaluate how you feel. Pretty simple, right? And I'm sure you're gonna feel a lot better. So I hope you found all my tips super useful for beating the bloat. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love it if you subscribed. And as always, comment below, ask me your questions. I love talking to you guys. And of course, I hope you have a joyous day. Bye, guys.